In this video series, I survived for a few days in the Amazon jungle with its indigenous habitants, a shaman and another member of the Yucuna tribe, who after being forced to join the Colombian army and live in the cities, decided to go back to their roots of life in the jungle. I ate like them, slept like them, and even studied a bit of their language. Join me as I learn about their culture, heritage, and traditions before they disappear. What's cooking, guys? It's a Salukie. Good morning. It's day 3 here in the Amazon rainforest, and I don't know if you can tell yet, but right now we're gonna go and fish for our breakfast. These sticks that we're carrying, they're not factory made. They're chunks of wood that they chopped off the trees. How did I sleep? Thanks for asking. Well, today I slept more consecutively. I didn't wake up a million times in the middle of the night, but I did wake up with a worse back. The hammock isn't doing me any favors.
Acá vamos a pescar.
Okay. ¿Dónde la...?
Ahí está la carnada.
La carnada. ¿Recuerdas cómo decir en inglés, carnada?
No.
Grasshopper.
Grasshopper.
Sí. Palani. Palani means está bien in their indigenous language.
Sí, a ver, vamos a poner la carne.
So we've got a bottle full of grasshoppers here. ¿Y cómo lo utilizamos? Vamos a ver. Let's see how we use them. ¿Y tú captar ellos con tus manos?
Sí, sí. Yo así. Tú lo tienes así. Así.
Vale.
Se siente como o va a comer la carne, usted lo jala el shun ahí. Si está ahí, pues ya lo saca. ¿Sí?
Vale.
Si no, así.
So basically I'm gonna sit here. If I feel some force from the fishies, then I'm gonna pull. ¿El río bueno para nadar?
Sí, sí, claro.
Si tenemos suerte, podemos nadar un poco.
Sí, sí, claro.
Esperamos.
Sí, sí.
Obviously this is going to be a higher density of mosquitoes over here right next to the body of water. So that's why you see them slapping their backs already. And I bet I'm gonna get hammered again. I don't think I have a back left, it's just a bunch of mosquito bites have replaced my back. Fish number 1. Caught by the shaman himself. That's good news because here in the jungle, if you're not going to catch any fish, you're not going to have any breakfast. Anyway, we've been here for half an hour. Not much luck, only one fish. So we're going to move on to another part of the river once I get my fishing rod unhooked. Qué bueno.
Ajá, qué pasa.
Disculpe.
No, no.
¿De aquí vamos a pescar?
Sí, sí.
Okay. That was very close to the other place. Allá, waspitas, ¿no? Allá.
Sí, sí.
We've got a wasp nest over there.
Puede sentarse ahí.
Número 2. So this guy's never let me pet him before. I thought he's a fierce hunting dog that doesn't let anybody pet him, but I guess all doggos won't love. Every once in a while I take out my fishing rod to see whether the bait has been eaten or not. And if it has, then we just put a new one on. Que la pescados no quieren comer grasshopper hoy. So we're done fishing for the day. That was actually quite fun. But we only caught... ¿Cuánto pescamos?
5.
Es mal, ¿no? Es bueno.
Es suerte.
Es suerte. Okay, 5 fish, not that bad. That was actually quite fun, yeah. Momento. Unfortunately, I didn't catch any fish. I did feel tugging on my rod at one point, but no luck. Fucking hell, it keeps getting stuck. So I've got a surprise for you guys. Right now, Tomiki, the guy you met a couple videos ago that brought me here to the desert, to the jungle, is supposed to be here today. And he's got an Israeli tourist lady with him. So let's go and meet them. We're pretty sure that they're here now. Supposed to be, at least. Yeah, it's 11 and 10 minutes.
Shalom, shalom.
Bueno verte.
Gilad,
Ya, cuñado.
Hola.
my friend.
Hola,
from
Ido.
Israel.
Hola. What's up?
Hola, Chuchu.
From Israel.
Pero tú... Te me dije
La
chica.
chica no llegó, él también estuvo esperando a la chica.
How was your fishing, Ido?
Fishing was pretty fun, yeah.
Where is the pirarucu?
You want to show your titties to the ladies. All right, so the tourist has arrived. His name is Gilad from Israel. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Gilad, I'm from Israel.
Basically what I said. And he's going to try some tobacco that they snuff here.
Traditional element. We are doing like this way is because we don't have the proper bond. But you know, like in the next few days, Nelson is gonna make one because the proper way is like he has to blow the powder into your nose. But because the dogs ate the bone already, so that's why we are doing like that way, okay? Just to make it clear.
I'm not going to sniff because I quit smoking 12 years ago. I don't want to touch tobacco in any shape or form.
Anyways, like you know, like all the traditional elements that you're gonna see in this house is part of the Yucuna's culture. Nelson is using these elements every single day before he goes to do the daily activity, fishing, to to cultivate the grass that is
The stuff that I've been doing the past 3 days, yeah.
Exactly, and also for hunting. But the most important is that these elements is to keep the connection with the mother of the jungle. At the same time, is a protection because in the jungle is beautiful, wonderful, all the good expressions for it. But at the same time, the jungle is risky. So using these elements, rapé and mambe. So rapé is made of tobacco and mambe is made of coca. So using all these elements, you put away all the dangerous things, like dangerous poisonous snakes, spiders and everything. So what I mean is like when you go to the forest, so you are safe and you are protected. Oh, ajú chuchu. Uy, está bueno. You say ajú chuchu. Chuchu is abuelo, grandpa. So like because the respect and everything, we say abuelo. It's not my real grandpa, but just because the respect, I say ajú chuchu.
Ahu Chuchu.
Thanks, abuelo. So in the Yucuna's culture, rapé is a woman, tobacco is a woman, and coca is a man. Oh, so this is the proper way. Remember, Nelson is the shaman, and he found something to blow into your nose. Okay, so now you're gonna try the proper way. Ajú chuchu.
Ajú.
A mí primero, ayahu. Oh.
Ahora está Cristian.
Ajú chuchu. ¿Quién se tapa? 7. Aquí.
Ahu Chuchu. Ahu Chuchu.
Ajú chuchu.
Ahu Chuchu. Ahu Chuchu.
How do you feel?
Good.
Gata?
סיגריה חזקה.
אתה מעשן?
כן.
Familia.
Palani. La propia.
Palani.
Palani. Palani. ¿Qué es Palani?
Palani is está bien.
Palani. En Yucuna. En Yucuna. Yeah. Está bien.
10 years ago when I came for the very first time to these places to meet the different tribes. So I came here with nothing in my head. I mean, no knowledge about jungle and everything. And these people, they are not like people who is gonna show you their knowledge just at once, boom. So no, first they have to feel in confidence with you. So it took maybe like 2 years for them to start showing me things. Like you see, in my case, I'm a person that I like to make friends easily. So when they say, oh, Thomas is a nice person, this is why they start to showing me a lot of things. Another thing is like when you get here, that's why I told Ido, you are in good hands, because the friendship that we got, and I know his knowledge, and I told him, please show Ido the special things. That's why you're having the best experience already, Otherwise, just being like a normal tourist, you get here and you stay here and you see nothing. But when you come, especially with me or my brother or a line that is coming for my agency, you're gonna see the special things.
And once again, if you'd like to go on an adventure like this, I'm going to leave the links in the description where you can contact these guys and go to the jungle, go do stuff like this. You don't have to go for an entire week, for a few days or whatever, one day like this guy. And yeah, the links will be in the description. Sí.
¿Pescó?
¿Pescó? Yo no, pero el otros 5. Sí, pero
Hace,
no,
hace,
no
morir,
cogí, no.
hace morir la novia de hambre.
¿Tú cogí uno grande o...?
No, pequeño. Eso aquí grande no hay.
Sí.
Son pequeños. A veces hay un poco más grandes. De los restos no, son puros. Pues ellos suben y vuelven. Cuando el río sube, ellos suben. Y cuando el río baja, ellos se van. Y viene otro, así es. Y los que estaban ahí, ellos ya están por otros lugares.
Entonces, ¿qué vas a comerlo?
Hoy, pues toca comer viento raspado.
Ajá.
Con agua molida. Voy a volver a pescar.
Ah, vale.
Ajá.
Buena suerte, amigo.
Bueno.
Va. ¿Qué? Sahi
Is a Hebrew slang for somebody who doesn't smoke, doesn't do drugs, or is generally boring. They were probably calling me that because I was the only one not snorting tobacco. Chistosos.
So it's actually quite a relief to have these guys here because they're Spanish. The Spanish of the indigenous people isn't that easy to understand. I thought my Spanish is pretty decent until I came here and I realized that it's quite different. So now I get to have more context and I get to understand things better, and so do you guys, the viewers. And now I'm going to take a piss. Just as I go for a piss, it starts to rain.
It's history for the indigenous culture around here. They are not originally from this place. They come from upper river, like navigating maybe in a slow boat, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, in a speedboat, maybe like at least 4 or maybe 5 days. But how do they get here? They got here during the military service. For South American countries, we were always in conflict with, borders. During those times, the military service was mandatory. Everyone there has no doubts to say, I don't want to go to the military service. No. The militaries, they were just going, traveling, visiting a small village, indigenous communities, and pick up the kids that they see that they were at the right age, taking them to the military service for 2-3 years. And then once...
And not just the militaries, also the paramilitaries and the communist guerrillas.
Yes,
yeah, guerrillas.
The guerrillas also.
Yeah.
But mainly the militaries were taking these people, bringing them to the city, doing the service to fight to these guerrillas and paramilitaries. And then when they were finishing, at the end, when they were like able to speak a little bit of Spanish, and then once they just try something different, to go back to the same places was difficult because they just really got the idea to get to know a little bit more interest on these things. But they experience, they try, but the life is not good. Life is difficult, hard.
You mean in the real life?
In the real life.
Not in the jungle.
Not in the jungle, in the real life. For them, all their life they know how to make weapons for hunting.
Yes.
For fishing, for hunting, for harvesting, to collect fruits or stuff like that, to build a house. But in real life, in the city, they need, if they want to make incomes, they need to know at least a technical career. They need to have a university, a bachelor, to be able to make money. But if they don't have it, they can be going to work into the ranch, into the farms, but they make very little money. They get exploited. Sometimes they don't like it, because for these kind of things they prefer to go back to their communities. But what happened for them, once they leave their places, sometimes it's difficult to be accepted again because they're afraid that they're gonna go with different ideas, different thoughts, that they will involve and try to change the think of the youth. And that's why, instead of going all that way long, they just kind of mix with another, or maybe find people from the same culture and then get married and then come to live outside.
Because, for example, his wife
Yes.
is now in Leticia. She studied pharmaceuticals. She started pharmacy.
Yes.
So,
But she's a new wife.
She's a new wife.
She's a new wife.
But some of the people did integrate and become part of society, I
Yes.
suppose.
Yes.
And is that why the tribes are disappearing slowly?
Exactly, because not many people, wanted to keep this tradition alive, because they think that if they go to the city, if they have a chance to study, they can make their life different. The things that you bring, like an example, I'm wearing a hat with a brand Nike or Reebok or things like that. That will keep the attraction on them, and they will I would like to get one of those. But they don't know the cost of that. For them, it's something called a gold dream. When they're like 14, 15 years old, they wanted to leave the community, and sometimes they do. They go, and then they start learning hardly the way of living.
They start learning what real life is.
Yes, and then when they figure it out that that's not life for them, they head back. But they don't go to their original places. They just go where some of these people that they left at the beginning, they're established. Like I was speaking to Gilad, the whole part of the road, I was telling him, we saw the Indigenous Huitotos. Huitotos are another ethnia in the Amazon.
Right.
Like where we are, this is Yucuna.
Another ethnicity. Yeah.
Yes, and a little far down, we have Ticuna. Far down, but on the other side, we have Yaguas. But
Right.
around here, there is like at least 7 or 12 in different indigenous ethnies. All of them with their different traditions, different way of living, but yes, different language, but very, very similar to each other that they can understand of it. But all of them speak some Spanish, not the Spanish that you learn in the school. No, the Spanish that they speak here like a slang. We call Portuñol, Portuguese Spanish,
Right.
and also of course it has a lot of dialects in. When they speak, we're able to understand, but if we say we're going to speak Spanish to you, we speak Spanish, but for them, no. For them, it's difficult. They say we're going to speak Spanish, but they're talking like their slang Spanish.
Yeah,
But
it's quite
they
hard
don't.
for me to understand.
Yes, just an idea like that, this indigenous group, they say we're indigenous, they try to keep the tradition like that, but they're not 100%. They're like already 50, 60%.
Right.
Only dress up, as the culture said, only when they have a special ceremonies.
Yeah,
But
like
most
normally
of the
they
years-
wear clothes like no t-shirt and
Yeah.
shorts or...
Yes, exactly. But most of the time, they still here. They miss their families, but they know it's very difficult for them to go back. The better for them is just to be able to find a place like this outside of the city, to be themselves, do whatever they want, live naturally how they learn.
Does the
Keep it
government give them any trouble about it?
No, the government is protecting them a little bit. Not 100%, but I would say like from 1 to 10, maybe 4%.
Because I believe hunting is illegal in Colombia,
Yes,
correct? And they still
Yes.
hunt all the time.
they still hunt. But they
So
are, they
does
are
the
allowed-
government crack down on it, or do
No.
they just say, okay, they're
No.
indigenous, let them do
No,
what they
they
want?
are allowed to hunt.
Okay, they are allowed.
Because they don't hunt for sale.
Right.
They hunt to eat. As you see, there is no refrigerator. There is no salt. If they want to salt something, they have to make their own salt, and it takes a lot of process on it just to get a little amount. For these kind of things, they don't hunt a lot. They just hunt only what they need. For crops, like they make here plantation. Basically, tobacco, what they need, coca leaves to make, mambe and rapé. For food, they have bananas, they have plantain, they have avocados, they have pineapples, cucumbers, tomatoes, yuca. Just to give you an idea, just to get here from the road, walking, it took us like, I
1
would
hour.
say 1 hour.
For him, it takes 30 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
For him can be 30 minutes, but imagine 30 minutes without carrying any stuff. His neighbor from here is like 30 minutes. The other one here is like 10 minutes. For them, it's like basically a lot of trading.
Yeah.
I give you some of this, you give me some of that, and they're happy.
So I'm glad I got to experience the first 3 days without knowing much, and now it's all coming together. I enjoy the curiosity of it. אתה עבדת בשיפוצים שנה עכשיו, ואמרת שממש התרשמת מהבנייה פה.
כן, אני הולך ללמוד גם בארץ כמה חודשים הנדסת בניין. כל הבנייה פה היא הכל מחומרים טבעיים, שירות ברמה מטורפת, כאילו.
בוא נשאל אם אפשר לעלות למעלה, כי עדיין לא הייתי שם.
One at a time,
סואבה.
but very gentle.
וואי, אם אתה שובר להם את זה, one at a time on this, or one at a time
On this.
No, upstairs they sleep together. The two people, yeah.
מה איזה בנייה? ואני כמה ככה לבנות את זה.
¿Cuánto tiempo para constructar eso? 4 חודשים.
כמה אנשים אבל. לא, זה מעניין, תחשוב אם אתה...
דולי, נלסון.
Oh, the two of them. שניהם בנו ביחד.
4 חודשים, וואו. תראה גם את הרמה של השירות, הכל כאילו...
כן.
מה...
כאילו, לא יודע, אני לא באמת מבין בזה.
לא, אני גם לא מבין בזה, אבל תסתכל, זה פשוט יפה כאילו גם, זה לא סתם...
The yucca is a long tuber root, almost like potato. What they do is they peel the yucca. There is a metal material where they kind of grind it and get all these pieces. Once it's like this, they use a t-shirt, but they also have a different kind of tool made of leaves. But I think right now they don't have it. So they put it inside and then they squeeze trying to get the juice out. Once they get all the juice out, they put it like this. After this is going to filter. We call cernir.
Yeah.
Cernir.
Quiero ver cómo tú vas a cernir.
That's the cernidor. Filter out, just get like little roots on top. And
Right.
just get only the flower.
And here he's formed it into a sort of big pita. So we're now going to be picking coca leaves and making them into a mush, into a powder.
If you